Hey, we're here to talk about Bill 16 and Bill 141, which pertain to condos in Quebec. We wrote an article about this in a recent edition of the Brody magazine, and we thought we'd do a little video to dive into it a little more detail. So introduced in around 2018, 2019, these bills were designed to improve the overall management of condos in the province. We believe they were much needed, especially for older condos, where we saw countless examples of mismanagement, poor maintenance, and in some cases even fraud and embezzlement on the part of the condo association, so you name it. Catherine, I know, had an experience with this when she was younger and owned a condo, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure did. I was probably in my mid-20s at the time. I bought a condo in Kirkland by myself, and in the 5 years that I lived there, the outdoor pool was cracking, the garage was crumbling, the roofs were leaking. We found out that the management company was stealing and embezzling money, and I probably got dinged with 10,000 or more in special assessments, which obviously I hadn't budgeted for and didn't really have available when it was that stage of my life. So the whole experience was certainly a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. And likely when you bought the condo fees were low, right?
Well, that's what made it appealing to me at the beginning. Oh, low condo fees, I can afford this. Yeah. And then boom.
And back then, even when these surprises came up, they didn't even raise the condo fees. They would just hit you with these special assessments, which is lump sums you have to pay for. So let's start with Bill 16. This one in a nutshell is all about maintenance, right? So they now recommend that you perform an inspection on all the common areas every 5 years, okay? You then have to keep a maintenance logbook to track every single item that's required or foreseeable repair that's needed down the road. And then there has to be a contingency fund study that's done in order to ensure that there's enough money in the reserve fund to cover those anticipated repairs and maintenance over the next how many years, you don't know. The other part of the bill is Bill 141. What does that pertain to?
So Bill 141 basically pertains to the condo's self-insurance fund. It means that you have to have a certain amount of money to cover an insurance deductible. So if the condo has a fire or a flood, for example, and the common areas are affected and they have to make a claim
like
through
a
their
major claim, we're talking millions of dollars
claims
sometimes.
Through their insurance,
yeah.
There could be $100,000 or $200,000 deductible. Right. Well, this bill ensures that every condo has to have that money or cash available at all times to cover.
Exactly. So you don't get hit with another
special assessment
lump sum.
Yeah.
The results of this, well, the bad news is a lot of condos are seeing increases in condo fees. So it's kind of a short-term pain, but I think there's a long-term benefit to it. When the condo fees are being increased, there's usually now a yearly schedule that's built in to ensure that over the next 5, 10, sometimes 15 years, they're going to build up enough money into that reserve fund to adequately cover foreseen maintenance and repairs. But we think the good news outweighs the bad.
I agree. It basically offers greater transparency to condo owners and future buyers, less or fewer special assessments, which can come as a surprise, more professional management, and basically overall better financial practices for condos.
Yeah. So we do believe it's a huge step in the right direction. We welcome the changes. And any condos where we've transacted representing either a buyer or a seller who have got on board and started to put the steps in place to be compliant with these bills, it usually goes a lot smoother and there's a lot more confidence when purchasing in those buildings.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because I vowed after my previous experience that I would never ever buy a condo ever again. But now that these bills are in place, maybe I'll consider something in retirement.
So if you're thinking of buying a condo or selling one and you're not sure about how these bills might affect you, make sure you're working with a knowledgeable realtor. If you need any advice or guidance, feel free to reach out. Thanks for tuning in.